Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we currently have quite a lot of demand for commercial, which means that we're going to have to extend out this meta block. And that's okay, it's just that we're going to have to do some work. This highway is okay over here. This highway, not so okay. So that's going to need to definitely have some work done to it. So we'll get that out of there for the time being, and we should start with our small roads. So we'll bring this over to here, and that should just connect in directly here. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of a problem there, but it's probably okay. Probably okay. Yeah, we'll let it be for now. That's okay. And this road is eventually going to need to come out over here. Now that's overlapping items, which is unsurprising, really. Let's just bring this right on over to about here. Yeah, there's a pillar right there. Okay, so we'll get that out of there for now. And we are just going to extend this section of road straight on out here. About there. That'll do for now. And then this section of road should come up and intercept right here. Well, maybe not right there. Right here is where it should intercept. Okay, so that'll do for now. And then this road gets extended straight on upwards as well. So that'll be right here. Okay. And it looks like this is maybe ever so slightly off center, but I'm not too concerned about that, all things considered. So then this road would come over to be about here in theory. In actuality, we have an overlapping item there, which is unsurprising. We need to get rid of all of this for the time being. In fact, I'm just going to completely get rid of that section of highway. It will need to be redone, because these roads need to be done first. So that's absolutely fine. So we'll just move these guys right on over to about here. And then about here. And then this road as well. So that'll be about here and about here. Cool. Now we can get those highways put through. So that would be this one going through out over this direction. I want this to be in angle only mode. And we'll just bring that right on through. Cool. We'll just put it there for now. That'll be fine, and this guy will need to move northward, of course. Angle snap only. And we'll just bring that right on through to about here. Okay, so we'll get that roundabout put back in. Slope too steep, overlapping items. Okay, so, and of course there's all of this up here, but for now I'm not too concerned about that. That is only on this side that it's having any issues, so we can simply take out that section of the intersection, put in our roundabout, and then reconnect this up. No problem at all. Cool. So that'll do for now. That gets us most of this meta block ready to go. Now we just need the on-off ramps. So we can put this in from about here. Sure, that'll do. And then bring this guy down to about here. That's giving us a pillar issue there. Okay. I mean, I don't love this positioning at all. But I guess it does kind of work. Sure. No left turn here, no left turn here. Okay. And we'll head on up over this way. Bringing this guy in here, and then this guy in here. Cool, that'll be fine. No left turn here or here. And we'll need to do this out up over here. The question is, are we going to run into slope too steep issues over here? If we do, problems might ensue. That's a slope too steep there, but can we just stretch it up over here? Even that is considered slope too steep. So let's just try widening it a little bit here. This is fine. Okay. So I'm not too concerned about that then. If we just want to have it be like this, that's fine. It's a little wide of a stance here, but it's okay. No left turns here. I want to... Directionality is wrong here, isn't it? Yes. This needs to go this way. This needs to go that way. Okay, there we go. That makes more sense. Then we, of course, need this guy set up over here. And I want to get this side done first. Okay, no problem here. So we'd bring this guy in about here-ish, but maybe a little further up. Sure, about there. And then no left turn here. And these are going the wrong direction, aren't they? They are. Okay. Yeah, this definitely needs to get turned around. So you go this direction, you go this direction. There. That's a little bit more like it, except that these are built backwards. I am dumb. Okay. Come on, get out of here. Boy, this one really doesn't want to delete. We had to delete that to get it to go away. Okay, whatever. Sure, we'll just get that built back in. And then these are this side. This would help. There we go. Cool. So with that done, that means that this meta block is now completed. And that, of course, means that we can toss some commercial in here. So I'm going to do dense commercial down here, as we had before. So that'll be all of this area. And then this up here, like on this side, is going to be light commercial. And we'll see how that ends up going. We filled up our commercial faster than expected with the last meta block. Let's see how this one goes. So that's all looking good. We can see the demand just slipping away there. Perfect. And I do want to come out over this way and purchase in these tiles as well as these tiles. There we go. Fantastic. There's a lot more territory that we can purchase in theory. But for now, this will definitely do the trick. So the question is this going to satisfy all of the demand? And the answer to that is a definite maybe. So I guess we'll find out. Now I'm thinking about this meta block here, and I'm thinking, how much do we think that we're going to need to expand here immediately? There's also, of course, this high school out over here blocking these two roads, which is fine. We can work around that. But for the time being, that's not necessarily the greatest thing, right? It'll take some time for the housing here to fill in. This is row housing over here. So that'll definitely take a little bit. Beyond that, this area is filling in. So that all looks good. Let's bump this up to speed 3 for the moment. And we're not seeing any major crisis points right now. I think this is going to satisfy our commercial demand for a little bit here. We may definitely want to see this area out over here start being developed. Or even starting to develop like this area out here. We're going to need more housing, is the takeaway here. The question is, where do we want to put it? I'm leaning towards down here. That's definitely what I'm leaning towards. So what that ends up meaning is we get rid of this section of street. Just because we need to properly demarcate this, right? So this would come out over this direction, but where was that previously built at? It should have been right here, but there was clearly a pillar there. We'll get rid of the pillar. And this guy ended up going, I think, right here. So that's 152 meters there. What we want this to be is 224. So right here. That will give us our marker for where to start future meta blocks. So then this would go down to 112. And then this out over here, I'm going to leave B for the moment. But that gives us some markers to play with. So that's perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This next one here would be a highway. So this is reasonably fine. We know that the highway would now go in right here, right? So we can definitely put that in. Like so. And then can we just run that over here? We can indeed. So this highway can just go straight on through like that for the moment. And of course it doesn't connect to anything right now. but we can run it out over there. We're going to have to do some pillar work with it, almost certainly, but I do want to see about getting some ramps going here. So we're going to need to change this section into a 3-lane highway, obviously. The question is, where do we actually want to split this off? And I think the answer is right about here. Bring that up like that. And then about here. Nope. Maybe about here? Like that. That's awful, but we'll come back to it. And then this would be somewhere down like that. Okay, that is horrific. Let's get rid of that. Whoa, that really broke this. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay. So we would want to bring this down over about here. That's much more reasonable. And then this one would just come up over that way or so. So that's reasonably fine. This section here should be redone. No doubt about it. And we'll see what that ends up looking like. Invalid shape overlapping items. That's because of the pillar. Okay, so we can do that for now. I'm interested in seeing what this would look like if this was a 3-lane highway from here. And then a 3-lane highway up to here. Then a 3-lane highway like that. And a 3-lane highway like that. Okay, so something along the lines of that. I'm not super happy with these situations here, though. So I'm going to take these out, and we'll try this again. Let's see how this ends up going. So we can bring this guy out over like so. It's better, but I don't think it's great. And then this would just come in down over here. That's giving us overlapping items right now, which I think is because this was being built down below. We could simply do this, though. That's pretty clean, actually. Yeah, I don't hate it. That'll work. So that is reasonably fine for the moment. As far as this out over here goes, we definitely do want to take this up to a 3-lane highway. Like that. Unfortunately, we don't really have the room for a 3-lane highway over here. Unless I suppose we were to do this. I guess that would work, technically. I kind of hate it. But I guess it does technically work. Okay, so we can just do something kind of like that to clean up some of this area. Okay. Cool. So that'll do for now. That will get us some amount of coverage here. Okay, so now I want to take this road and bring it down another 112 meters. Right like that. Okay. And then we can bring this guy up 240 meters. Actually, 224 meters is the distance we want this to go. But we can see that this is not exactly right on. Which is interesting, because this is 224 meters. But I guess we can just connect this in here. Like that. That's reasonably fine. I think that's close enough, to be honest. So that'll give us a decent amount of coverage there. This is going to become a mess. Looking at that. Okay. So I want to bring this guy over to about here for now. And then we can complex curve tool this up over here and bring it in about like that. That's reasonably fine. It's not great, but this is going to get very, very complicated as we attempt to do this interchange here. I have no idea how we're going to go about doing this. So it's probably going to be a giant mess, if I had to guess. I'm going to drop a pillar. Let's go in straight line mode. I'm going to drop a pillar here, here, here. Okay. This is indeed going to be a giant mess. Okay, so we're probably going to have to take some of this out. For sure, this off-ramp has to leave. 100% for sure. Next, what we need to do is we need to make sure that there is, in fact, a connection here. Now, that's going to require removal of these sections of highway, which I'm going to do temporarily. We will get them rebuilt, but for now, that will do. And we need to connect this together at... Okay, we need this to be snapping only to the angle. This position. Okay, now we put in a roundabout here. That gives us an invalid shape due to this connection out over here. Overlapping items, fair enough. So we take this out, roundabout goes there. Okay, then we would look to connect, nope, not you. Yes, I know how demand works. You can go away. Next, we can look to connect in this guy over here. There we go. Now we can try to get these highways to go through again. I have no idea how this is going to work. My guess is poorly. This highway can just go straight through. That's not a problem. This highway, on the other hand, that could definitely be an issue. Where are these pillars located? Okay. I highly doubt that we're going to manage to curve this guy through over here, although maybe we sneak it through. Hang on. That's wild. I can't believe that snaked through right like that. That's great. That's really, really good. That, of course, means that we need an off-ramp here going this way. It's a little awkward to get to, for sure. I'm not 100% convinced that this interchange is going to be good. We're probably going to end up revisiting this interchange. Yeah, so actually, I think that what we need here is this to be slightly different. So actually, that going out there was fine. That was actually okay. So that would be that. Then we also need one coming down over here. Awkwardly enough. And like merging in up over this way, that's going to be very strange. No doubt about it. Can we upgrade this to be 3-lane right here and merge it in like that? We can. And now the question is, what happens for... Well, actually, you know what we could do? We could just say, you gotta use the roundabout. We definitely could say that. I'm going to leave this be. I don't think it's great. If it causes problems, we'll revisit it. It almost certainly will cause problems. But let's leave it be for the time being. That'll be fine. Okay, let's continue to build some roads out over this way. We'll take this out to 112, and surprisingly, we can just bring this straight on through. Okay, I like it. So this is going to be a road going down here, right? In theory, it would go right here. But in actuality, it would terminate about here. And then we would use a curve tool to bring this in, like, somewhere up over here. Ideally there, but there's a pillar right there, right? So that would mean that this would end up coming up over about here. Complex curving up to about here. And then going in something like that. And then from here, coming out over this way and curving in about like that. It's definitely not ideal, but it'll do for now. Okay, we bring this guy down 112 meters. And then that would curve tool, actually complex curve tool, up to about here, like that. That'll work. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So this next one over here should be a highway. So that means that we would bring this over to 112. And then this would be a highway right here. So that would end up going approximately there. Like that. We put in a roundabout here. And this highway would extend southward. Down to, looks like, the city limits here. I thought that we'd have to get that as as an interchange, but no, we're actually okay on that front. So no need on that one. Fantastic. So that is absolutely great. Then we can start extending some of these roads now that we know approximately where our boundaries are going to be. So we can definitely develop this area up relatively quickly here. No doubt about that. So then this road would get extended over to be here. Surprisingly, no pillar issues. We'd bring you down to be here. We'll see if we have any pillar issues this way. Surprisingly, no. So we'd bring another road down to be about here. Again, without a pillar issue. Beautiful. So if this is 224, then there should actually be a road right here. Like right along this city limit. Which actually I think we already knew. But it would just go right like that. Except I feel like that's at a considerable curve or a considerable angle compared to the city limit.
Unlike most modern music
So maybe we wouldn't be too concerned about this road right now. I do want to make sure that this road, using the curve tool, comes down to about, we'll use complex curve, to about here. There we go. And that gives us this little meta block here basically completed.
On to the next.
We can bring this guy down to about here.
And on to our main featured story.
Fantastic. We can get ourselves some on-off ramps over here. I'm going to start over here. It's going to be mildly awkward because this will need to be an on-ramp from like here. But we'll see if that ends up working. That slope too steep. I'm not shocked about that, actually.
Thanks, Jim.
So then this ramp would go out over here, right? That's invalid shape, specifically here. So that would need to come out over this direction
That's not
and go in about here. This ramp, I would really like to get about here, but that is absolutely slope too steep, and I'm really not surprised about that. Do we simply omit this one?
The death rate is skyrocketing. We've got to get out of here.
That is an option. Is it a good option? Probably not. Oh, and I did want to remove the left-hand turn here. But otherwise, everything here looks pretty decent in terms of the turns. So that's all fine. No left-hand turn here. And this should, of course, be, I think, reversed in its directionality. This is supposed to be an off-ramp on this side. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to need to say no left-hand turn here. Cool. One thing we could do is take this section of road out. And we could curve it slightly differently so that it would come out over this direction. And then it would come over here, kind of like that. That might give us a little bit more room to put on an on-ramp over here. I don't know if it would actually give us enough room, but it might. So that would mean coming up over here. Actually, yeah, that's enough room to put on an on-ramp. I like it. I mean, I don't like it. It's kind of horrific, but it'll do the trick. Then, of course, up over here, we'll need inverted ramps. So that should be much simpler. That would be a ramp around here or so, but there's that pillar. Yeah, we're going to have to put it here. Awkward pillar is awkward, but it's okay. And then this one would come in up over here. No left turn here, and no left turn. Where are we? Here. Okay. Next up, of course, we would have ramps here, which would go from about here to about here, and about here to about maybe a little further than that. About here. It's a little lopsided. Whatever. Sure, that'll do. And then we don't actually need a ramp over here, but that does give us this little area basically complete at this point. So we can toss in some low-density housing from, I guess in theory here, straight on down. Cool. So that gives us a little bit of low-density housing here. There'll need to be a fair amount of additional work here, of course. And off-ramps are going to need to end up going here. Okay. So we should definitely get some in here. So this would be an off-ramp, in theory, somewhere around here. That slope too steep, so we might have to bring it out over this direction. Awkward intersection, but we'll see if that causes us any issues. And then we'll bring this guy in about up over here. And no left turn here or here. Okay. Again, we'll see if that causes us any issues, and if it does, we will change it. But that gives us a good start on heading up over this way. What do we got going on here? What are you guys unhappy about? Lack of entertainment. Okay, we can definitely do something about that. The only entertainment we're allowed to build are small parks, but there's definitely a dearth of small parks up here, so we'll put one in about here. We'll put one in here. Here seems okay. This looks good. About 1 per meta block appears to be approximately the right amount when we're doing low-density housing. It changes based on the density. But we can absolutely put one in up over here. One somewhere over this direction. One over here. And that's much better on the park coverage. So that will hopefully stop this abandoning houses problem. We can get rid of all of these. That will, of course, use up some of our demand there, and we'll see how much demand we end up getting in the next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.